Catholic Home Life. My name is Lindsay, and today's video is the first video in a series of the summer book club that I'm participating in. And Heather from A Catholic Mom's Life, she is starting this summer book club and arranging it all and all the details. So thank you, Heather, for starting this. I'm really excited to participate. And she said that a lot of other moms are doing it too. So in the description of this video, I will have a link to all of the videos of the people that are participating in this book club. So this is the book that we're reading. It is the Handbook for Catholic Moms, Nurturing Your Heart, Mind, Body, and Soul. It's by Lisa Hendy. So you don't have to buy this book to read along with us. You could just watch the videos and participate in the discussion in all of the comments below the videos. But if you want to get more out of it, go ahead and get yourself a copy of this book. It's sold on Amazon and probably other bookstores. So pick this up and then you can read along. We're doing 2 chapters every week. So those are all the details, and let's get into the chapter for this week. So this week we did chapter 1. The chapter's focus was on marriage, and it's called A Match Made in Heaven, an overview of Catholic marriage commitments. And what I'm gonna do is just talk about some of the highlights that I got when I was reading over this chapter. The first thing that stood out to me was on page 6. She's talking about keeping Christ at the center of your marriage and how obviously that means like praying together and raising your kids in the faith and going to mass, all those things. But then she said, equally as important, I believe this means treating our spouses as we would treat Christ should we have the occasion to find him physically sitting in our homes. So I really liked that quote because it is such a great reminder that we should be treating our spouses like we would be treating Jesus if he was a member of our family, and that through the sacrament of marriage, we have an opportunity to grow in virtue by loving and serving each other. And I think it's something where if you're having a hard day and maybe you don't feel like serving your spouse, to just remember that. You could just imagine that he's Jesus, and how would you be treating him differently if he was Jesus? Which is a very biblical thing to do, because in Ephesians it talks about how our relationship with Christ, the Christ and the church, it's the same parallel relationship between a man and his wife. So I think it's appropriate that we would be treating our husbands like he was Jesus. So that's something that I am planning to do if I'm having a rough day and I just don't feel like serving him. I can just think about him as being Jesus, and that it's my duty and my vocation to love him and to serve him. The other thing that really stood out to me was on page 8. It talks about playing with your spouse and how that's so important. She says in here, not just having elaborate date nights and getting out of the house to play, but that you should just have a spirit of playfulness with your interactions with each other. And I really love here, she's talking about her parents and observing her parents and their playful love for each other. And she says here, just around the house, that kisses were stolen, tickles were traded, and a dance even broke out some evenings. All played out before 5 sets of watchful eyes. So her and her siblings. And I just really love that idea that our children should be watching, and it's through our, oh my gosh. I have a neighborhood full of kids in my yard at the moment. So if you hear children screaming, it's all good. They're fine. Peter, don't whack him with a stick. So yeah, I think it's so easy to get into the day-to-day rut of just doing, like, going to work, coming home, having dinner, putting kids to bed, and vegging out in front of the TV or whatever you do to relax. And sometimes that playfulness and the goofiness can get lost amidst just the day-to-day. So I really think that that's important to keep that alive in your marriage, and to have your children be watching you and watching how fun it is to be married, and to have like, I think of my husband as my best friend. So I want my children to know that without me having to say that he's my best friend. I want them to see the love that we share and the playfulness and the fun that we have together, and they just know that mommy and daddy are best friends. The last thing that really stood out to me was on page 10. She talks about studying your spouse. And it says here, study your spouse and look for your own special ways of showing your love for him, both in spoken words and in small acts of love. In lovingly serving one another in large and little ways, we nurture our marriages and our souls. Now, I have been almost married to my husband for 10 years, and I think that sometimes you take that time for granted and you think that you know each other really well. We do know each other pretty well, but there's always more to learn. And I think within our marriage, like, we got married pretty young, but we've both changed and matured and grown. So I think there should be a constant studying of your spouse and trying to get to know them more and the things they enjoy and their passions in life. I think we should never take each other for granted and just assume that we know everything. So I think going out on dates and having special time together and going on trips and outings, I think those are all things that can help you learn more about your spouse. Oh my goodness. Peter, Julian! Peter, don't hit him with the stick. Don't even chase him with the stick. Oh my goodness. Boys. One more thing that I wanted to mention in here was that she has a list of ways to get help if you are struggling in your marriage. And I think we all have highs and lows, and so this information in here is so important. So I will have all that linked down below just in case you need it, because I really think it's important, and the Catholic Church does have help for people that are struggling. Also, in the back of the chapter at the very end, it says mom's homework, and it has a bunch of different ideas of how you can take the things that she talked about in the chapter and work on it in your life. And so the one that I chose was number 3, which is to look for 3 ways that you might enjoy some playtime with your husband. We are actually going through a lot right now because it is a very busy time with the business that we own, and we're gonna be moving in about a month. And just with homeschooling wrapping up, and we've got trips planned, we've just got a lot going on. And at night, we tend to just fall into bed and we're exhausted. And so this challenge that she had at the end, the homework piece, that one really stood out to me because through all of the chaos, we need to find ways to enjoy each other's company and to have that playful time together. And so that is what I'm gonna do this week. I'm gonna find 3 ways that I can find some way to enjoy and have some playfulness with my husband. If you are reading along with us, I would love to hear what you thought about this chapter. So please leave a comment down below. And if not, please just leave a comment and let me know what you thought about the highlights that I pulled out from the chapter. And I hope that you have a great day. I will be posting another video on chapter 2 on Thursday, so please come back for that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye.